Hello again. This is the module 2 of this course. In this module, we're going to discuss what's the exact mechanism through which you got diabetes, for which you developed type 2 diabetes. Okay. We're going to discuss the scientific approach, what the traditional medical establishment says about this. We're also going to discuss what science actually discovered about this, which is, believe it or not, completely different from what the medical authorities are claiming. And at towards the end, you're going to get a complete, simple overview so that you may understand why you got diabetes in the first place. And obviously, after that, it will be much simpler to know what you can do about it to achieve normal blood sugar levels and get rid of diabetes. So let's carry on. What does science say about your diabetes the development? And when I say science, I mean the medical establishment. So, as we discussed in the earlier module, the medical establishment also blames your genes a lot for this cause, which obviously is true to a certain degree, but again, it's not deterministic, right? So, your genes do not determine that you will get type 2 diabetes. They also say that your lifestyle may have an important role in developing diabetes, in which case they would be right. But what's funny is that they say that it has only a part from the whole picture. Many health experts and nutritional experts claim that it's because of your food, so solely because of your food. And this is where numerous religions, quote unquote, appear, like the experts that claim that you should eat a very low fat diet to control your diabetes, which it's true has been shown to have some good results, although it has its advantages and disadvantages. We're not going to get into this right now, but I think it's sufficient to say that it's not quite the optimal approach to reversing diabetes. However, it can work for some individuals, especially for vegetarians. So especially if you're a vegan or vegetarian, you can try a very low fat diet, and it may lower your blood sugar. However, it's not the only change you need to make to reverse diabetes. Then there's the low carb paradigm, which has exploded in the recent years. And again, many health experts and many nutrition experts have absolutely zealous about promoting this. They may have a point there because fortunately enough, the low carb paradigm promotes a very natural foods diet. So, nevertheless, you will get great results just because you're eating only natural foods, which again, most of them are very low in carbohydrates, which obviously will lower your blood sugar levels. However, a lot of processed low carbohydrate foods have entered the market now, so it's not necessarily a given that a low carb diet will solve your problems. But overall, to solve the riddle of nutrition, so to speak, and of food, you'll find out in the next lesson why food isn't the culprit for your high blood sugar levels and for your diabetes. So yes, it is also because of your food, but it's not just because of the food you're eating or you ate. The medical establishment also thinks it's because of a lack of exercise, which again they would be right to a certain degree. But again, it's not the end all be all of diabetes development. So you can't say that, oh, because you're lazy or just because you don't exercise you develop diabetes. That's a rather harsh comment, and it although it may contain a grain of truth, it's not completely true. So no, it's not just because of a lack of exercise. Could sleep have a play a part in this? Yes. Only recently, scientific studies have shown that after less than good night's sleep, so to speak, the participants showed higher blood sugar levels and uh, a greater degree of insulin resistance and a lower insulin sensitivity, which shows that sleep indeed has a pretty important contribution to the development of diabetes and high blood sugar. Now, just imagine, like, throughout many years, like years of sleep deprivation or um, lack of sleep quality. Imagine what that can do on your metabolism and on your health. So you can maybe imagine that indeed sleep does play an important part in this. But again, it's not the end all be all of diabetes development. So, what's the bitter conclusion of modern medicine after we went through all of this? The conclusion is simple. We, and when I mean we I refer to the medical establishment, we don't know why type 2 diabetes happens, right? They have a point there because it's very hard and false in the same time to pinpoint just one component that leads to diabetes development, right? On the other hand, what I consider to be rather less intelligent is that they don't think that lifestyle habits play a very, very important role in this. Instead, they focus on the genes, they focus on uh, various other ghosts, I would say, that cannot be controlled, right? Or the other side of the coin is that they focus too much on just one side of the problem, right? So like nutrition is the best example. Like uh, health experts are going crazy on their philosophy or the paradigm that they're encouraging the most. Like, oh, it's because you're not eating a low fat diet that you're having diabetes, or it's because you don't eat a low carb diet, and so on. So the bitter conclusion of modern medicine is that they don't know. However, in the next lessons, you'll have a better perspective on why you develop diabetes, which is also scientifically proven, although it's not promoted by the medical sciences and by the medical establishment.